Right.
Hello again.
Week 35.
Sunshine.
Sunshine, I know.
How
We're actually
nice
having
is
to
this?
shade our eyes a little bit.
It's beautiful.
It's nice to be sitting out in the sun.
I think it's short-lived, but it is beautiful.
Yeah, there's plenty of clouds around, but right now it's nice. So,
yeah,
yep.
East Coast.
Happy days.
Who knew it would rain so much on the East Coast
That's right. Yeah.
of Australia? Anyway, so week 35.
Yeah, we basically left sort of that Wollongong area and made our way up to. You wanted to travel on and see the Seacliff Bridge sort of thing, didn't you?
So excited about that.
Yeah,
Bridge over the water.
Yeah, hadn't really known about it, but then Di said she wanted to do it, so we had to work that into the itinerary. So yeah, we did the drive and stopped, and it was beautiful. Yeah, it was it's an amazing little drive.
They kind of call that the Pacific Drive, and so where the Seacliff Bridge is, the New South Wales answer to the Great Ocean Road. Being Victorian, we're still die-hard Great Ocean Road fans, but this that Seacliff Bridge was awesome.
Yeah, it's not as long, but it's a bridge that kind of comes right out over the ocean, and it's a beautiful little drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really gorgeous. And we walked down onto kind of the rocks beneath it. There was an area where you could go down onto the rock, so we did that to get photos every angle of the bridge, of course.
Yeah.
And that was beautiful. Even the rocks below are just really, really pretty.
Yeah.
Aren't
yeah.
they?
Yep.
And then on to Sydney.
Yeah. So I put Sydney in because I think you're travelling around Australia, you've got to stop at Sydney. It's Australia's largest city. And Dysel said, I don't know, should we even bother with Sydney? I mean,
we have been before.
We've been before, and we'll go again. But I thought, no, we'll go and we'll park up and we'll have a bit of a look around. And I'm so glad we did, because I don't think we'd taken that sort of time to just head into Sydney and hang out. And we really just hung out around the rocks, the Harbour Bridge,
and
area,
the Opera House.
and the Opera House area.
Yeah.
And there's so much to see. You could spend a good week just sort of hanging around there and eating in the bars and the restaurants and, you know, and just sampling all the food and that's around there. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
We had a fantastic time. Our first day.
Because I was going to say, because we had the van, we had thought we would stay in the heart of Sydney, but because we had the van, which is quite high,
even though it's 2.5 metres
tall, it's 2.5 metres tall, we can't actually get into any underground
car park. So most of the motel, hotels and accommodation have 2.1 metre clearance. So we couldn't do it. So we had to stay in Lane Cove, pick a caravan park. Yeah. And Lane Cove is about 10 k's out of the heart of Sydney. Yeah. And but
it's amazing, isn't it?
It's amazing.
I was a bit worried about it, where it might be, what kind of area it would be in, but it was really beautiful because you felt like you were in the bush, but you were still so close. Because
it was a national park, so Lane Cove was a national park, and they've still got the river, Lane Cove River down the back. You can go for a walk, and there's a lot of water monitors, and just amazing bird life, and bandicoots at night come out at night, and heaps of possums and. But the little bandicoots were great because I'd never really seen bandicoots other than in like Hillsville Sanctuary and that sort of thing. So to see little bandicoots fossicking around in the ground was really awesome. Yeah. So you're right in the bush.
I did also see a huge spider, which I wasn't so happy about, thinking of the funnel webs in Sydney. That was in the ladies' toilet.
Not in Lane Cove.
Yeah, in ladies' toilets.
No, funnel webs.
Oh, funnel webs,
Sydney funnel
not
webs.
in.
They don't make their way out 10 k's out of too far travel. They'll hang out in the CBD.
In the CBD.
Yeah. So you're all right. So
I was okay.
So yeah, so a beautiful national park, and also accessibility to Sydney was just a short sort of 10-15 minute walk into the train station, and then 40 minutes on the train into Sydney. If that, half an hour, and it was really convenient. Great place to stop and park your van and yes. So Lane Cove, 2 thumbs up. Yeah, it was brilliant.
And of course then Pelican in the background. And then of course we, as I said, we hung out around the rocks area. We were lucky enough that the market was on, the Rocks Market was on, which was really lovely, and I managed to get Aid to have high tea at Tea Cozy, which was beautiful. Great scones, Devonshire tea, and sandwiches. And then the flip side of that was I had to sit through the football again.
It was hard because we pre-arranged that the football was going to be on, and we got in there was a big group of guys watching the rugby, and so I'm one person that wants to watch the footy. The pub's, going to cater to the larger crowd drinking beer. But in the end, they said, look, go upstairs and we'll pop it on upstairs. And we had this beautiful little room upstairs to ourselves. And it was fantastic. What was the hotel?
It was the Harbour View Hotel, and it was a really beautiful hotel. And the room that they then put us in was upstairs. It was really nice.
Yeah,
we
was
had
magic.
Views of the Harbour
Beautiful
Bridge,
view of
as
the
you'd
Harbour
expect.
Bridge. Yeah.
It was really, really lovely. And then we didn't spend all our time there. We did go over to Manly, so we caught the ferry, which of course is an iconic thing to do in Sydney. Take the little ferry, which is quite large, across to Manly, and then we had to call into Four Pines Brewery, apparently.
Well, we got a call from Andy on the way through
tour around Australia,
and he said, where are you guys now? We said, oh, we're on the boat on the Manly ferry across to Manly. He goes, oh, perfect. He said, as soon as you get off, the original Four Pines Brewery's over there, so they do a great lunch, and they did a great lunch and great selection of beers.
It was a good lunch.
It was nice,
actually. Yeah, it was good. And then, but I mean, the beautiful thing about Manly, there's so much there. But we took a walk through the city centre again, market on.
Yeah. Yep.
Fantastic. But then along the foreshore, down along the beach and the foreshore, and there's this great. One of the things I love about New South Wales, there was one at Bermagui and again at Manly, is the poolside, the beachside swimming pools.
Yeah.
That
ocean baths sort of thing. Just natural salt water comes in and flushes it out when the high tide comes, and then as it retracts, it's got fresh salt water in. And
I love those. I reckon they're really cool.
Yeah.
They look awesome.
Yeah.
So we spent a little bit of time wandering around the foreshore there and there's a beautiful walk that you can actually do along the coast there, which is really beautiful. But then we hightailed it back because we had a meeting with a tall ship.
We booked a sunset cruise, dinner cruise on the tall ships, and it was really nice. We got an awesome sunset, so that was amazing.
Yeah. And it was really I wondered if it would be really kind of, here's your table, you sit at your table and you spend all night sitting at your table. But actually, we didn't sit at a table at all. We just wandered around the ship. You could go and they would let you steer the ship. We didn't, just because we couldn't tear our eyes away from the amazing sunset.
Yeah. And once you've navigated and skipped a barbecue boat and
a houseboat, a tall ship's not.
You don't need to sail a tall ship. No.
But it was. It's always beautiful. So of course you could have. It's always beautiful sailing around the harbour.
Yeah.
It really is a beautiful harbour, isn't it?
So it wasn't really. It was a dinner cruise, but dinner was sort of secondary to the actual cruising and just hanging out and chatting to people and having a beer and taking photos and watching the sunset. And then somewhere along the way, they also served dinner.
Yeah.
Which was just grab a plate, help yourself, and wander somewhere on the ship and eat it. So it was really laid back and nice.
And the staff were all really friendly and
who was the guy that I can't remember his name, that was our sort of host?
He was fantastic, wasn't he? He was really funny and really kind of brought the whole experience to life. I think he gave told us some great stories. He he played the ukulele for a little bit and sung some sea shanties for us. So it was a really great experience. And then we walked around to Mrs. Macquarie's chair, which I don't think I've ever been to before, because I was expecting something completely different to what it actually was. I don't think you even looked at the chair because you were too busy.
Didn't look at the chair. I was trying to photograph. They say that's one of the best spots to photograph the Harbour Bridge from. So we did.
Because you can see the Opera House
and the bridge.
The bridge behind it, so you get that kind of iconic image of the two of them, and it's sunset.
And it was a good spot. I mean, the sunset itself, once the sun set, it was okay, but not super great. But then about 20-30 minutes later, bang, the colours came out. So as we were walking back, we kind of pulled up stumps and we were walking back. And then, because the other thing is the walk back around the harbour back to the Opera House closes at a certain time, which we didn't know.
Because you're going through the garden, so the Botanic Gardens close, so you kind of you're stuck and you have to go
right up the hill into town and and walk around. So it's a bit of a long way, but as it was,
it gave us a good walk around Sydney.
But we had to stop and take some more photos of the bridge.
Got us away from that harbour.
When that light changed, it was magic. So
yeah,
beautiful.
Absolutely beautiful. And then we went on to Katoomba, up into the Blue Mountains.
Yep.
They are just beautiful, aren't they? But with all the rain recently, a lot of the walks were closed, and the national forest at the bottom of the Blue Mountains was closed. So the only way we could really see any of that was Scenic World.
Scenic World, yeah.
By going down, which that was cool in itself, because you can take the steepest train in the world, or
Yep.
you can go by cable car down into the valley, and you can do a sky view across, where you go on another cable car across.
Yeah. It doesn't go all the way across because, again, national parks were repairing all the walks, so that where it goes to, the walk was shut, so they didn't actually allow you to dock there and that. So you just sort of went most of the way across, stopped, and then went back. But it was a fantastic experience.
It was a great experience.
Yeah.
It's really cool. And the other thing that I really loved there was the night walk. So we saw Katoomba Falls and Cascade Falls. And
Because we did that the day we got in, and they hadn't shut the walks yet.
No, the other walks were closed. So that night walk was open, but it's all the walks off there that they'd closed. And so they were closed, but you could do the night walk through which is a short kind of walk. It's not a very far walk, but it's past the main waterfalls, and it's all lit up at night. All the the sidewalks are lit up, and the falls are lit up and stuff. And that was really lovely walk. We kind of went just before sunset, so we didn't really need the lights on, but it was still.
But by the time we got
really
to Cascade
pretty.
Falls, the sun had set.
Yeah.
So
it was getting dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really lovely. And then Aid's obsessed by waterfalls. I mean, the falling rain hasn't been enough water for him, but he's obsessed by waterfalls. So then we went on to Wentworth Falls.
No, but the next day we went to Three Sisters Lookout.
Ah, we did too.
And
how could I forget? We went to the Chocolaterie.
Yeah,
that was Chocolaterie. Was good.
Yeah, you had
Good
a
hot
nice sort of was it authentic? What was it called? The hot chocolate.
The authentic
with
hot chocolate.
Just a cup full of chocolate buddy bits which go into the hot
milk
milk.
over a little tea-like candle. It was good. It was
Pretty
really
good. I had a milkshake, and I've got to say I was kind of wishing I had the hot chocolate.
Yeah, you should have gone with the hot chocolate.
Milkshake was nice, but it didn't look quite as good as your hot chocolate.
And the Three Sisters.
Three Sisters. That lookout there is awesome.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah.
And the way they've done the information centre and all the walks along there, I have to say the walks that they've built at the top there at Katoomba, really, really, really well done, I think. And Katoomba itself, I was quite surprised how big it is. It's a really big town, isn't it?
Yep.
The other thing we did there, of course, was our civic duty. We voted.
Oh yeah, when we got in, as soon as we drove from Sydney into Katoomba, we went and voted. Yeah,
we voted.
Yeah.
And then we went on to Wentworth Falls just for a day trip, which actually was in the afternoon, and you could spend ages there, I reckon.
Oh
Wentworth Falls, with
there was a lot of walks, different walks around there, and they were all open.
Yeah.
Around there, so that
there
was okay.
were a couple that were closed. The Charles Darwin walk was closed.
Oh yeah, that had been shut since January, so that wasn't due to recent rains or anything.
No. But there are a few that were closed, but there are a lot that were open.
Yeah.
And the Undercliff Walk.
That Undercliff Walk is magic. That's a beautiful walk where you walk down and around and then back up toward the falls.
But you're walking under the cliff face, so you're kind of in like a little cave type cavern thing, aren't you?
Yeah.
That was really cool.
Yeah.
And
that's about it. So Wentworth Falls were very well worth the look. And the walks around there. That was it. That was week 35.
Week 35.
Yeah.
Awesome week.
That was good. Yeah, I mean, Sydney and Blue Mountains, fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
what was your highlight?
I think the bridge. I think that's the whole rocks area around the bridge is, so I could hang out there and just for a week and just, just exist there for a good amount of time, just sampling some of the restaurants and the bars and cafes and that. So, I really enjoyed that. It was nice.
Yeah, I did too. I have to say, Sydney, I was really pleasantly surprised and very, very glad we went again.
Yep, excellent. All right, that's it.
All right, week 35.
Week 35.
See you next week.
See you next week. Bye.
Bye.